guys, welcome back to my channel. It's G from Happiness and Crafting. So today's video I'm going to be covering these lovely little sort of like boxes that I made in the last video, which was the Lost Mojo makes, where I'm sort of like, it was more of a sort of like an organising, tidying up sort of video on that one. So what I did, I had this little container that I was sorting out, and I've wrapped all of these little bits of lace trim and bits that I had on just some little chipboard bits, just the smaller pieces, just so I've got like a selection here so they're not in a big jumble. And I thought as well I would make some of these little chipboard. It's sort of like a box, it's sort of like a little container, and I've made them the same sort of size, so they will just slot in like this. Let me just tuck you in there like that. And then they are quite thin so that they will fit on my desk, and then I've got my little bits and pieces there beside me, because this has taken up too much room. And then what I can do, I can just put all the little bits in here that I'm going to be using for a project, or just have these on the side of my desk. So I've wrapped up all my little bits of sort of like rose trim and things like that on here. Now, I've put little elastic bands on. I'll pop the video down. It was a really sort of basic one, but it was the Lost Mojo one. And sometimes on my Lost Mojo, I like to sort of like come into my craft room and do a little bit of organising, a little bit of tidying up, just to get going again. And that means that you're you know, rummaging through all of your little bits and pieces, and it sort of like sparks inspiration. So that's what I like to do as well. So this is what I have done. I've made these boxes. I'll link the video down underneath, so you can see how they're made. Very, very simple. And I have covered this one. Now I have painted just with a little bit of gesso inside, because it was just sort of like chipboard colour. And I've just covered it with my lovely, lovely Shabby collage papers, and I just think they look fabulous. I'm not going to decorate it at the moment, because these just look so pretty, because I want to, if I'm going to put them on the desk, I want them all on my shelves. I want them to sort of like butt up against each other so it takes up less room. And it's obviously, it's all about sort of like space saving, isn't it? So this is what, all I'm going to do is just show you how I cover them up, just to make it easy. So the project is sort of like ongoing from the last one. But I love them. I think they're just brilliant. Now I have cut up some of my papers already. Which are, like I said, these are the Shabby collage ones. And mine here, this is 5 centimetres, or I think it was about 2 inches. So what I've done, I've just cut long pieces. I've just taken a piece of my paper and I've cut 8 centimetres, which is, what's 8 centimetres? Just over 3 inches on here. So I get, I think it's like 1 inch on the bottom and ½ an inch that goes over this bit on the inside. So this bit here is sort of like ½ an inch or 1 centimetre there, and then along the bottom it just has a little bit so it tucks over. So it makes it all really nice and neat and tidy. And then I've just taken 2 strips and put them on the bottom to cover the last little bit up. Now I know lots of people struggle with covering things up and how to do it properly, but I'm going to just show you how I do it. So I've just cut 8 centimetres, and you can get 2 strips from 1 piece of paper. And then I've got these little leftover bits, which I will probably make something with. So I'll do a quick video on making that, maybe a little short or something. So actually what I'm going to do, this is an 8 centimetre piece that I cut off. I'm going to show you what I did to actually mark it. I'm going to pop this on here. Now I've got 1 centimetre, which this is inches and centimetres, but the 1 centimetre is the easiest to sort of like line it up with. And I'm just going to score that down. I'm not cutting it, I'm just using my cutter as a scoreboard. So we'll just do that, fold that over, look at that, nice fold. And then where I folded it, I'm just going to pop it over, mark on the 5 centimetre one, and then I'm going to score down again like that, because this is, then this bit is 5 centimeters, which is the same as this, or 2 inches. And then I'm just folding that over like that. Let's just pop that out of the way. And then what this does then, pops over the top like that and just slots underneath. And that's really nice and neat in there. So I'm just going to glue that on, glue that underneath, and we're all done. So it's really, really simple. But instead of just sticking it on the side, I'm actually going to go round the end, because it makes it, you know, easier than trying to find a little bit to sit on the end. So I'm going to sort of like go sort of like that, and then just bend that down, just mark that off like that, mark that off. So you can make these as big as you like, but if you pop over to the other video, I'll pop a link down below, you can see how I make them sort of near enough the end of the video, because I had a little inspirational spark to make them. I was going to leave it to another video, but I wanted to get it done, and I'm glad I did now. So what I did, I just painted the inside, because I'm not going to take the time to cover the inside, because that's just going to take too long. No point in doing that. Right, where's my little scissors? Right, so this bit, I have just bent it, so it's going to fit on there. So we've bent this bit over, so I'm going to just bend that over, just take a little sort of triangle piece out of that, like that, and again on this side, just down to where the little bit that we've bent over is. Do the same on the bottom, just makes it easier to go around the corners, makes it a little bit tidier and a little bit easier, like that. Pull that down. Doesn't have to be a great big piece, just move that out of the way, but can you see? So we've got that, so it's just like a little, so again, have whichever side, I'm not really bothered. I printed on both sides of this because I was using up my papers, because I was going to use them as in a journal, but I'm using up my papers now, so I'm just going to be using these. So let's just tuck that bottom bit. Can you see? So that will just fold in nice and neatly over there, and then we're not going to have a little, do you know what I mean? You can put that piece underneath like that, and it just folds in, and they fold in. So super, super simple. So I'm going to glue this one on like this. So I'm going to do this end first. I'm going to take some tacky glue and go around the end, just the end bit. And I just think these will look really nice. I love decorated boxes anyway. I have done some in my Shabby Saturday videos. So just pop that onto the end like that. I'm going to push this bottom piece down and then just turn that over. Don't worry about this side. You just want the end bit all nicely tucked in. Push that down like that and just pop that in. So that's all nice and neat. Can you see? It all just goes on there nice and neatly. And then I'm going to just add a little bit of glue to here. Pop that down flat now. Make sure you've got glue around, sort of like quite close to the edge. Oh, I'll tell you, oh no, that's fine. It's not the end, is it? There we go. So yeah, tacky glue is fine, PVA glue, anything like that. Don't waste your 3-in-1 or Fabri-Tac on this, because there's no point, because it's card, it's sort of paper to paper. You don't really need it. Tacky glue is perfect. And then just push this over, push that down like that. Now again, you can paint. I was going to add some ink, so this is a little bit coloured inside, but I did have a think. If I'm going to put white lace and ribbon in, I don't want the colour coming off from in here. You can leave it plain, but I just gessoed it knowing that it's not going to sort of like come off and ruin whatever's going in there. So let's just put that down. So that is pretty simple to do, and I just think they look so pretty. Right, I'm going to take another bit that I've done, and we can just sort of line that up. I'm going to overlap it just a little bit like that, and then I'm going to push that down like that, take that, push that there, and then we've marked that off where we can go. And then we just want to fold that up so we are straight like that. Fold that. Now again, you can use a little score tool like that and measure it properly, but I think this is fine. It's going to be fine. Let's just make sure that's on there. Perfect, lovely. Again, I'm going to fold that over and just chop these little corners. Just makes it nice and neat. So you haven't got a big, thick sort of piece there to try and fold into the corners. There we go, like that. So that's really nice and neat. So again, I'm going to do the end because that's the bit that we want to, you know, make sure it fits on properly. All these little bits. So a little bit of glue. We like to do things as simple as possible, don't we? Just to make it, you know, easy, simple. I was thinking actually about doing it with some napkins, but I wanted it to sort of like, you know, not have time to wait to dry, if you know what I mean. It's a bit impatient on that one. But again, you can use napkins, you can use whatever you like to cover them. But I just love these papers. I'm just going to try and level that up nicely. There we go, so it's all nice and neat. And then we will let's do this side. Because look, just overlap it just a little bit. Don't butt it up like that because you might get it sort of like have a little gap in it. Just overlap it just a little bit. I think that will just make it a little bit neater. Oops, I can't get the lid off. There we go. So let's just add a little bit of glue on there. So this video is going to go out on Friday. So guys, I hope you've had a lovely week. I will wait and tell you what happened because it's not Andy's birthday yet, but I'll let you know how we do. I think I said that in the last one, but I'm not sure when these videos are going out, so there we go. I will update you probably on our Shabby Saturday video, because I will probably make the Shabby Saturday video on the Friday, I think. There we go, look at that. Nice and neat and tidy. So if we do this sort of like ends, then we just got like a little flat bit to put in there. Like this. And then, tell you what, these would be a nice little gift for Christmas as well. I like to turn my things into sort of like little gifts as well. So you could, if you've got a crafty friend, you could make something like this. Doesn't have to be as big, but you could make something like this and pop some little ribbons and things in there. Little, you know, little embellishments. Things to make embellishments with would be lovely. I'd love to receive something like that. Just me, you could make it sort of like half this size. This is 12 inches. I think I did that 12 inches, which was the same piece as the chipboard that I had. There we go. Lovely. Look at that. It's coming along lovely. And now we just need to pop in this little section. Do I have anything on here? That's not long enough. That's not quite long enough. I think we're going to have to use one of these. Or shall we have the lovely purple bow? So we need to cut it here. Just get my little cutter. Pop that in there. I didn't really measure that, did I? So it needs to be at least this long. That will do. Eyeball it. Just eyeball it. There we go. And then this will just slot on there and go on there, and then we've got that all done. Oh, love it. Lovely, lovely. Beautiful. Yes, you could make these. You could have a little Christmassy one. You had some nice Christmas papers, and then pop some little Christmas ribbons in it with some little sweeties. Would be nice. Some chocolates in there. That would be a really lovely idea, wouldn't it? And a little gift. Is that all glued right on the end? Take that. Pop that down. Like that, and then squash that over the top. And because we're leaving sort of like a centimetre here, it makes it even all the way round, so it looks nice and neat from the inside as well. Make sure it's all stuck down lovely. And because it's a collage paper, it doesn't really matter that, you know, they don't match up, because you know, it's all collagey. But look at that, love it. Isn't that lovely? Push that in, and now I'm just going to do the bottom piece. And what I'm going to do, let's just take, look, just take some little random bits. Oh, actually, I've got this. Oh, there we go. Can use the little bits from the end. There we are, and that can just sit on the bottom. This is the scrappy bit that I cut off. So I think it probably takes just over one piece of digital paper to do this, which is not bad, is it? Let's just put this down. But you can make these. I made it out of chipboard, which is a chipboard that I bought, which is fabulous. I've used it and used it and used it. But again, you can make these little boxes out of, you know, cereal boxes, cardboard boxes. Just going to wiggle that around a minute, just to get that glue in place. Now again, you can put little feet on here if you want to. You can put a little bit of felt on the bottom so it doesn't move around too much. You could do all sorts of things, but I'm just going to pop this on the bottom because I want these just to sit on my desk, and they will take, if it's at the side, you know, it's not taking up as much room as this great big one here, which I love. I think they are fabulous. So look at those, aren't they just fab? Just lovely. Now I did ink just around the edge on this one. Let me just take some ink. So just ink it up just a tiny bit. Not that it really needs it, but I like to add ink to everything. Here we are. Finish it off lovely. Now, like I said, I'm not going to add any lace or embellishments to this because I don't want it to be too sort of bulky. I want them to sort of like butt up against each other, so I think they've come out really, really lovely, haven't they? Just beautiful. Look, these two match wonder if you could do that. Oh, like a little step thing. Oh, that's another project to do, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So they come up like that. Oh, I'm going to have to think about that one. Right, I'm going to just quickly cover this one while I'm here. So we've got this one. I have another one. Let's just make these. Let's take this. I'm going to... So this is the top. Make sure they're heading the right way. So I'm just going to score that centimetre for the top. Like that. Fold that over. Oops. Pop that down at 5 centimetres. So I'll link the video down so you can take a look at the other one that I did. I'm making the boxes and stuff. I'll give you the sizes on there. So lovely. That's another one. Do you think I will have enough with these little pieces to mix it in? So those could go down there. That one, I think I've probably got enough on there without having to cut any more. And then I've got a long piece to go along the bottom. Fabulous. Again, I'm going to take this one and just go around there. Just pinch it, just so you've got the end bit. Open those up. We like to make things as simple as possible as well. I'll glue all over my fingers. It's not a surprise. There we are. It doesn't feel very late here, but it's very dark outside. It's really nice. I'm really drawing in. But, like I say, I don't go anywhere. So I don't mind. It's nice and cozy in my craft room. A little bit chilly, but nice and cozy. Okay, here we go. Look at that. Fits absolutely perfect. So we are going to stick this end bit. Ooh, which one do I like? I don't mind. Let's just do the end bit first. Like that. This on like that. Put that down. There we go. Make sure it's all stuck on there nicely. I'll do this little piece here for this side. So make sure you cut the little triangle-y bits off, just the corners, because it makes it so much easier and they fit so much better. And you don't get that big bulky bit in there, in the corners. There we go. Yeah, if you had some nice napkins, you could do that. I would paint this first, and then put your napkins on, even if you paint it white, because napkins obviously are pretty transparent, so you want to, you know, not have the dark really coming through. Then you'll get the true colour of your napkin coming through, which I haven't done any napkins for a long time either. Too much to do, too many things that I would like to do. But I must put that on my list for next year. Maybe we'll do a little bit of something with napkins next year. Oopsie daisy. Where's my lid? Glue everywhere. did see some really pretty napkins. Where was I the other day, and I saw some really lovely napkins. I meant to go back and get them, but I've completely forgot. I can't remember where I was now. There we go, really simple, nice neat corner. And let's do this one round there. I'm going to open it, oops, upside down. Careful you're not upside down. That level. Push that down. There we go. Just fold that. Like that. Oh guys, have you been watching Christmas movies? I do love a Christmas movie. They all seem to be the same, but I do like a Christmas movie. I think I've watched, I think there are a couple of new ones out this year actually. So let me know if you've seen any which are good, or whether you like Christmas movies or whether you don't. I like to sit down in the evening because they're sort of like, I can always sort of like make something while I'm watching a sort of Christmas movies, do you know what I mean? And it's lovely. I do like a good Christmas movie. Right, let's pop that on there. Look at that, they just fit lovely. Let's do the end bit. On there. There's lots of sort of Hallmark movies, isn't there, which are Christmas movies, and they are always the same. They always have the same sort of thing, which is quite nice actually, just to watch a very simple movie. Which way am I going? This way. Do you know what I mean? It's, you know how they're going to start, you know how they're going to finish. But it's nice, and bless him, Andy's really good about watching them as well. He's so good. Oops. Let's move that around. He knows that I like to watch a little Christmas movie at Christmas, I think. I won't watch them every day, obviously. Oh, I haven't done that one very well. I'm talking too much, guys. I'm talking too much now. Now I need to move that. We need to move that down just a little bit. Chattering too much and not paying attention. I think that's it. Is that a bit better? That's a little bit better. Right, let's do this side so we match up. So basically, guys, this is just covering a box. I want to show you what they look like inside the box as well, because I think they are fabulous. I just love them, and I need to make something that goes under my little, where I've got a gap on my desk. Got a little shelf, but it's above my desk. It's an IKEA one, and it's sort of above, so it doesn't, it clips onto the desk, but it doesn't go to the bottom, so things fall out the back. So I need to sort of make something actually that will slide underneath that. And I think probably I could probably make it out of chipboard, couldn't I? Let's put this on. There we go. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Oh, I do like these. I do like these. And my other ones that I made in the Shabby Saturday, the ones that I added lace and bits and pieces to, I do love those. I use those a lot. Look at that. Is that going to not quite, but we got the other little bit in there. this little piece, I can just cut a little. We don't need all of that, do we? Let's just cut a little piece off. Let's just cut this little section off. That can be for something else. Pop that there. There we go. Lovely. Let's pop that. Oh, I quite like this side. I like both sides. But yeah, you don't need to double side. I'm just using this paper up because it's printed. There. Or you could just use up all your scrap pieces and do sort of like a little scrappy collage on here. Oh, that's a good way actually to use up your scrap paper, isn't it? Little collage box. There we go. Lovely. And then this little piece, just to fill in that last little bit. Like that. Lovely. Lovely, lovely. Put that on. Oh, I do like that. I do like that. Lovely. There we are. Look at that. Love it. Make sure these pieces are stuck down. Let's just do his bottom. Pop this on the bottom like that. Loving these little bows. Oh, I do like these. I love this paper. I really, really do love these papers. I'm going to sort of make some more like this, I think, because I think they're fabulous. They are so good to make all sorts of things, and especially if you want to sort of like cover something like this, I think they look great. Do like a collage paper. Let's pop this on. Stick that down. Wiggle it around just a little bit. Make that glue move into all the little nooks and crannies. Stick that down. How simple is that, guys? Really, really simple. So probably, what was that? 1, 2, 3, probably about 4 pieces of paper. That's all you need. You don't need that many. And again, like I said, you could have just your scrap papers and just sort of, you know, scrap it up. A little bit of just round the edge, like that. A little bit on there. Oh, I love them. I love them. And again, if you didn't want to use chipboard or anything, like we did in the Shabby Saturday video, cover another little box if you've got a little box, and then make these to fit, these little ones to fit, and then they will all sort of like go together. So if you've got a wider box or something, you've got, just make these little bits of chipboard to fit, but I've just cut them just not covered them up, because I'm not going to waste my time covering them up. There's no point. But I absolutely love them. And then I can see, I wanted them to they wrapped around this way so that I could actually see what I've got in there. Whoopsie daisy. Do you know what I mean? So all of these ones, all of my little bits of trim, all these little pretty bits that I've got, like that. I've got another one with some pearls on. They're 2 different colour pearls. That's a nice sort of shiny bit that could go in there. These can go there. Oh, I've got another one of those, look. They can go in there. So that's one, and then I was going to put sort of like one of these with some Oopsie daisy. Oh, this is the one I did, and it was too long to go on one. I was sat downstairs watching one of my Christmas movies. There we go. And it was too long, so I used 2 of them. And pop them in there. So there we go. And I didn't have any scissors with me, so I'm just going to put the white in here. And then this one will have the other bits in. These are the white ones. Lovely, lovely. And these are the coloured ones. There's a little bit of seam binding there. I think I'll put that down this end for a minute. So you could have them sort of like the thicker ones and then go down into the thinner. But I'm quite surprised how much little sort of like bits of white lace I've got that I didn't realise. But look at all these. They're nearly full up already, aren't they? There's another, oh, we've got another little white bit there. Look at that. Aren't they great? Aren't they? Are so good. I'm so happy with these. I can't tell you enough. Now I've got this little round one. I didn't, well, there's quite a lot on there, but I didn't really want to wrap it around, but I might. Oh look, I can put them sort of like colour coordinated, can't I? That's like a lovely piece of velvet on there. So we can have the pinks and the purples up this end. See, all these colours, all these ones that I didn't even know I had. And now I can see them all here. And I won't be popping on the same colours all the time. Do you know what I mean? I use the same ones because they were right there. But look at those. Love them. And again, you can just take, you could make another one, maybe not so big. And then just go around and gather up all these little bits that you want to put in your next project and put them in a smaller one, and then you can just have that on your desk. But these will just fit on your shelf. So easy and so simple, whichever way they go. But I'm just so pleased with them. I think they are lovely, and I think they do actually fit under my little hole in the back there. So that's good. So there we go, guys. Nice simple one. So basically it's how to cover a box, but I do love them and I think they look really nice. So there we go, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a fab rest of the day. Take care, stay safe. Well, this is Friday, so have a lovely weekend, and I will see you on Saturday. Okay guys, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you soon. All right, bye.